Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, I hope all of you are able to listen to me and my voice is clear to all of you. I hope that all the students are studying at home and giving a due time to their studies so that you can prepare well for your upcoming pre-board and board exams that you are going to have. You know very well that we are going through the chapter number 5 and the last topic which was continued, it was basically the communication over the telephone networks. How the telephone networks are beneficial to make extensions in the local area networks towards the wide area networks. If you want to connect to the internet or you want to connect your computer system to another computer system on a remarkable distance and you want to have a wide area network of your company by taking the service of any of the telephone networks. So how you are going to use them? Basically, this was the topic that we were going through. And we had gone through that. Basically, there are two types. One is called the dial-up line and the second one is called the dedicated line. So either we will be using the dial-up connection or we will be using the dedicated connection, dial-up telephone line or dedicated telephone line to be connected over the internet or inside a wide area network. So we can use these two types of telephone lines. So basically this was the topic that we started and we said that dial-up connection is basically the legacy traditional connection in which we used to have analog telephone lines and we used to have a particular device to connect which is called dial-up modem, which performs the task of modulation and demodulation and then connects you to an ISP or connects you from one network to another network using dial-up connection using telephone line. So basically this is called dial-up network. Then we said that in dedicated lines what happens. In the dedicated lines, we have got the connection between the computer systems which are on distance, or if you want to connect your computer system with an ISP, or you want to connect two branches of the offices which are on a remarkable distance. So what you are going to have, you are going to take a dedicated line for that purpose, dedicated telephone lines. Right now we are talking about how we are going to use the telephone lines for our connection. So in dedicated, basically that particular line will be specifically used for the sake of making that connection. And it has more advantages. It has a number of advantages over the traditional telephone line, the dial-up telephone line where we use a dial-up modem to connect. And there are a number of advantages that the dedicated lines have got. And we said that in dedicated, telephone lines, we have got multiple options. With the passage of time, we had multiple options. First, we had ISDN, we had DSL, we had CDMA. So these are the different technologies in the telephone connection, particularly in the dedicated telephone connections. And they have better speed, better reliability, and of course, it has a good quality as well. Then we said that in the ISDN, basically these all are now dedicated. Now keep in mind, we discussed about the ISDN and we said that there is digital data transmission, not analog data transmission, just like we had seen in the dial-up connection where we had installed the dial-up modem. But what happens in the ISDN network, you're going to have a basically you are going to have a ISDN a modem. So you need to have an ISDN modem on both sides, and then you will be able to make connection established between the two computer systems. This is very important over here. But of course, you will have better speed. Of course, you are going to have better speed. And one important thing is that in ISDN modem at the ISDN modem at your location must be within the 3.5 miles of the telephone company's ISDN. The company's service that you are using, its ISDN modem should be in the 3.5 miles from your location. So that's why we say that it is not normally used in the rural areas. So we had discussed that basically while using the ISDN, what are the major differences? We said that basically we will have digital transmission number one, better speed and as compared to the dial-up connection, and there would be ISDN modem used. If we make a comparison, because you may be asked for making a comparison, we need to have a comparison as well. Then we discussed about the DSL. DSL is called Digital Subscriber Link. DSL is also a technology for the telephone lines. DSL is a popular digital line alternative for the small business or home users. Digital subscriber link or digital subscriber line, normally called line, transmit at fast speed on existing standard copper telephone wiring. Some DSL installations include a dial-up tone, providing users with both voice and data communication. So what happens in the DSL? You need to have a DSL modem. To connect to a DSL, customer must have a special network card and a DSL modem. Of course, you are using a DSL service by any public switch telephone network. Not all areas offer DSL services because the local telephony company or the lines in the area may not be capable of supporting DSL technology. So it depends that from which company you are getting the DSL link, whether it is providing or not, and that DSL link that you are using, whether it is available in your area where you're supposed to connect your computer, it is available in your area or not. So most probably it's not available in the rural areas, so it's difficult to find it in the rural areas. But this is basically the thing. In the last decade, now we have better technologies where we have discussed about it. We have got broadband and other technologies available. But right now what we are discussing what are the options on the over the telephone line. We are discussing about the options available on the telephone lines, the traditional telephone lines we are talking about them. So this was basically evolution. In the traditional lines, there was dial-up, then ISDN came, and then DSL came. And ADSL was comparatively advanced, asymmetric digital subscriber link. ADSL is one of the more popular types of DSL. And over there, what was the difference? The difference was that ADSL in ADSL there would be better speed while downloading. Why? Because normally people are more interested, 90%, 80%, they are interested in downloading the data from a remote computer to their computer, not uploading data from their computer to any other computer. Normally it happens. So that's why DSL gave this feature to us, that there will be better transmission speed when you are downstreaming. Okay. So ADSL is ideal for ADSL is ideal for internet access because most users download more information from the internet as if we compare it with the uploading. So this was basically an extra feature by the ADSL. ADSL. Okay. So now we will go towards the another type, and then we will see some short videos to describe these all options that we have got. Another type is there which is called CDMA. We need to understand this as well. CDMA, code division multiple access. Again, keep in mind we are talking about the telephone networks used for data communication for the computer system. What are the different technologies available in the telephone networks to use over different kind of data communications for the computer systems? How we can use the public switch telephone networks? What are the different ways available? Okay, so now we need to discuss some things about the CDMA, another type. Okay, if you see over here now, you can see that CDMA stands for code division multiple access. This multiple access is very important over here. Code division multiple access is a channel access method used by various radio communication technologies. CDMA is an example of multiple access, where several transmitters can send information simultaneously over a single communication channel. This thing is very important. Multiple access over a single communication channel. So this was basically a great change in the technology of the telephone networks that were being used. And important thing is that we have got now wireless communication. Number one, most important thing is that it will be wireless. We will make inshallah one comparison, a short comparison as well between them so that we can understand this point better. Between all these types means the CDMA, DSL, and dial up, okay, in all these things. So in code division multiple access, there is channel access method used by various radio communication technologies. So number one thing is that there will be data transmission which will be basically wireless. Number two thing is that one channel will be used for multiple transmitters to send and receive data simultaneously. This is very important. So it brought basically a number of features with it, CDMA. CDMA brought a number of features with it to provide ease for making transmission possible among different computer systems which are using this type of service. Okay. Now, CDMA refers to any of several protocols used in second generation. You know that when cell phones were introduced, so directly it was not 4G or 5G. First it was 1G, then 2G, then 2.5G, then 3G, then 4G. So there were different advancements, G for generation, and different. And if you Google it, since it is not in our syllabus, so I'm not going in that much detail. But being a student of computer science, what are the differences between the 1G, 2G, 2.5G, 3G? What are the differences? If you go and Google it, you will be able to find out that what are the different advancements in different Gs in different generations. So basically, this CDMA was introduced in the second generation. In third generation, it became wireless. As the term shows you that CDMA is a form of multiplexing which allows numerous signals to occupy a signal channel. This thing is very important. It allows numerous signals to occupy a single transmission channel. It is basically the most important feature of this technology, code division multiple access. Numerous multiple numerous signals can go through the single channel. So of course, this is a great deal that multiple type of signals are going through a single channel, optimizing the use of the available bandwidth. Available bandwidth means the maximum capacity of the channel that we had discussed about it in the fourth chapter. Maximum capacity, this is called basically the bandwidth. The technology is used in ultra high frequency cellular telephone systems in 800 megahertz and 1.9 gigahertz bands. So, where it is used in cell phones, of course, in the wireless technology we are talking about. In the wireless technology for the cell phone communication, cell phones are, of course, the telephones. We are talking about the telephone channel. Of course, the cell phones are telephones, and telephone, which is basically wireless telephone. What is meant by the UHF? UHF is basically the ultra high frequency which is used in the cell phone communication. And what is the range of that frequency? 800 megahertz to 1.9 gigahertz. This was the basically frequency available for that cell phone communication. It was used in the third generation technology, wireless communication, where single channel is supporting multiple signals to go through it using its bandwidth. Of course, you will send the data according to the given bandwidth, not across that particular bandwidth which is given to you. Now, this thing is, I hope, clear to all of you. Okay. Now, come towards some other point. What I have done, why I am giving you that detail, because you must have a clear concept. Of course, the question will be of 3 marks or 4 marks. You need to write it accordingly. First of all, if they ask you the CDMA, you will write that CDMA stands for multiple access, code division multiple access. Number two, it is a wireless communication, telephone communication used for the technology. Number three, important feature is that it supports multiple signals transmission through single channel. It has high bandwidth, ultra high frequency with the cellular communication ranging from 800 megahertz to 1.9 gigahertz. Simple. These are the key points that we have mentioned over here. Okay. CDMA employs analog to digital conversion ADC in combination with spread spectrum technology. Audio input is first digitized into binary elements. The frequency of the transmitted signal is then made to vary according to a defined pattern code. So it can be intercepted only by a receiver whose frequency response is programmed with the same code. So it follows exactly along with the transmitter frequency. There are trillions of possible frequency sequencing codes, which enhances privacy and makes cloning difficult. So basically, this complete passage is about, we don't need to go in that much detail, but in short, I would like to explain you that high security is available in the CDMA. Number one important thing is that, and number two important thing is that why it is how it is using the analog signal to be converted. ADC is basically the analog to digital conversion. This is called analog to digital conversion whenever required, where there is telephone line. So of course we are going to convert that into digital, and then we are going to use it. So these two passages are covering all the points. Whenever we are writing any answer for our exam, we need to be very much careful about it, that our answer should include the you know key terms, the key terms which is basically defining the proper terms, proper things which are available in your answer. There should be keywords. So over here you can see that what are the different keywords available over here. If you see over here, when we have given this question in our exam, what are the different keywords that we should write to give a proper answer that is not going to lose a mark in the assessment. We should not lose any mark in our assessment. How we can do this? How we are going to do this? So over here you can see that a channel access method by various radio communication technologies. Number one thing is that it is radio. Okay. This thing is very important. Then on the second page, we have mentioned it allows various numerous signals to occupy a single transmission channel. This is very important. This is also a very key point about it. It's suppose ultra high frequency. If you will write this thing, there's an extra edge given to you in your answer because you are covering that thing as well. Similarly, if you see this thing, several transmitter can send and receive information over a single communication channel. So such kind of things are important to write to give a clear idea about the topic that you are describing. If you are writing here and there, and if you are giving a you know bunch of words but the main points are not there, of course examiner is not going to give you the full marks for this. This thing is very important over here. Now let me mark the attendance first, and then I'm going to take the questions if you have any. So we have got Armash to Faisal. Okay. If you have got any question up to here, please ask me. Any question, anything that you want to ask, kindly. Okay. I would like to make one important announcement as well that we are going to schedule a series of tests for you, and schedule will be inshallah shared with you for all the subjects. This test is going to be conducted, and we will tell you the chapter number as well. Most probably the marks will be 30 marks for each test, and we will share all the other information as well, and I will also share the chapters for my subject as well. And this is very important for us, and everyone needs to appear. No one is going to take the test non-seriously. The test timings will be from 1 p.m. most probably, but all these things will be shared to you, and when I will have this document, inshallah, I am going to share with you in the Google Classroom. This is the most important thing that I want to share with you, and you need to prepare yourself. You need to prepare yourself for your pre-board and the board exams. Second important thing is that two students were there, I think, who did not appear in this send up. So I have planned the re-send up exam for them. And I had given them 19th, but I will change that date up to 21st. And I will also inform those students as well. Uh, the test, the normal test, which is for all these students that I have set, it will be chapter wise and it will be about MCQs and short questions. Both the things will be there. And it will be mandatory for all these students to attempt. Muhammad Abbas, you want to ask something? Yes, Abbas.
Yes, sir. In test one, what will be included?
Sorry, your question is not clear. Your voice is not
सर
clear.
इन टेस्ट वन में क्या क्या आएगा? सर टेस्ट वन में क्या क्या आएगा?
Yes, I am telling you that I will share with you because we have got different chapters. So most probably I will share the complete schedule. So most probably the first test will be from the first chapter. Okay, although some chapters are there which are having much more importance. Okay, so but I will share with you, and if you see over here. So we have got different chapters. Right now we are studying chapter number 5. So before chapter number 5, we had chapter number 4 and chapter number 4 and 5 are very important, but we will start our working from the chapter number 1. Okay, so it will be basically chapter wise. I will place it chapter wise. So in chapter number 1, you know very well, it is basically the fundamental of IT. You know very well about the chapter number 1. It contains history, and it contains different types of softwares, types of computers, classification, use of the computers. So chapter for test 1, the first test, I have explained you this thing, that chapter 1 will be there. Okay, so I will share the complete schedule with you, inshallah. I will upload the page in the Google Classroom as well. What will be the schedule, what will be the time, what are the chapters included, all these things I'm inshallah going to share with you. Similarly, then chapter number 2 is their fundamental operating system. It will be next test. So in this way we will be going. I will share with you in the written form so that there won't be any problem. One more thing, the answers of the MCQs, where I found that student has got 9 or 10 or 11, because MCQs were quite tricky. So I found that some students were very good at MCQs. So I became able to know that they have a good knowledge. They have studied, because in a less time it is very difficult to find out the MCQs answers. It basically depends on your knowledge. Okay, so I expect that all these students are going to take these upcoming tests seriously. Yes, Abbas, you want to ask something? Muhammad Abbas, I have unmuted you. Okay, nothing to ask. Okay, fine. So now we move to the book, and we make reading for all these things that we have gone through, because in the book the passages are given, we need to write something different and something point wise in our exams. Why we do need to do this? Because everyone has got this book, every student has got this book. If everyone will cram it out and will write the same things, so you are going to have average marks, which is not a good thing. So this thing is very important for us. When we are writing, we should write something different with proper keywords, proper key terms, proper words that should define that particular thing. So we should read this, whatever written in the book. Dial-up lines uses standard telephone lines for internet connection. They have limited it to the internet connection, but I had told you that dial-up connection is not only used for internet connection. It can be used to connect one office to another office through a telephone line. Keep in mind. It requires a dial-up modem that provides a maximum internet speed of 50 kilobits per second, which is very less nowadays. If you see, it is very less. The main advantage of using dial-up line is that it uses complex network of telephone lines that allows data to be transmitted to almost any location in the world. It is becoming outdated due to very low speed. Now you can see this thing. This thing is very important. As I had told you that now this is obsolete. We have got modern technologies available. We have got wireless communication systems. We have got 5G technology available, we have got Wi-Fi systems available, we have got fiber optic lines, even broadband lines are available, and multiple options are there that we are using. So it has been option. Now DSL, digital subscriber line, provides a very high speed broadband. Keep in mind, we are talking about over the telephone line, and we are comparing it right now with the dial-up. It is called broadband because it has broad range of frequencies for transmitting digital data. Any type of internet speed that is 250 kbps or above is known as broadband. A DSL modem is required for setting up the DSL internet connection. Internet service providers have several DSL speed available for different monthly packages. So you will have different monthly packages for the DSL links, and of course the DSL links are owned by different public switch telephone networks. Another option is the ISDN. We have discussed about it. ISDN stands for, in each term you need to write down the stands for first if it is not written. Integrated Services Digital Network. It provides a maximum speed of 120 kbps, which is more than dial-up connection but less than DSL. Keep in mind, ISDN is less than DSL, and we had discussed it over here. Over here we discussed it. First we discussed dial-up, then we discussed over here DSL, ISDN, and then we discussed DSL. In the sequence we discussed them. But over here it is not written in the sequence because ISDN came after dial-up and then DSL was an advanced technology. It can transmit both voice and data at the same time over a single cable. It was the capacity of the ISDN that it was supporting not only the data to be transmitted but also the voice at the same time. It requires that the means you were able to make a telephone call at the same time you are able to use that line for the sake of data transmission, for the sake of computer communication. Understood? This was the point we discussed. It requires that the user has ISD and digital telephone service from telephone company and uses a faster modem than dial-up modem. ISDN service is being replaced by DSL. So DSL replaced it. Afterwards, the DSL replaced this thing, and we had DSL technology. Then we discussed in detail about the CDMA as well, and I have told you what are basically different advantages of the CDMA. Code division multiple access. Over here you have got only 3 lines about it, and I had explained you with the key terms, with the keywords. It is wireless cellular communication. Now this thing is important. What is the key term? Wireless cellular communication. CDMA services include short messaging, voice, data, and video transmission. And we said that it was started because basically from the third generation, second and third generation wireless communication, where we had, you know, the capacity of sending MMS, audio, video, data, voice messaging over the WhatsApp, and some things, such kind of things were introduced, which were not available earlier. We used to send only text messages before, but after the CDMA, we had this option available. It can provide speed of several Mbps video transmission, and I had shared with you with the proper statistics about the CDMA, that 800 megahertz to 1.9 gigahertz frequency is supported over here by the CDMA. Okay, so I have explained you all the pros and cons, and inshallah I will also share you one comparison chart. This is also important being student of computer science, because a question may be asked in some different way, so you must have the knowledge about it. We will write only 4 or 5 points with different headings, with different points, just like in the past topics we had made different comparisons. Just like before studying this topic, I think we had yes, we had the topologies. So we've also made the comparison between the topologies, their advantages and disadvantages. In the similar manner, we can make a comparison between the dial-up, ISDN, DSL, and CDMA. A short comparison of 4 to 5 points, so that if a question comes for the comparison between any two of them or any three of them, so we can write a good comparison basis on the basis on some different points. So I hope that all these points are clear to all of you. Is there any question that you would like to ask? Anything that you want to clarify? Please ask me. I'm here to reply you. Normally, the ratio of the question and answer is very less in this class, and I'm not able to understand this thing, that whether the students are shy to ask the questions, or uh, they have understood each and everything. They don't want to ask anything. So if you have any question, please ask me. anything that you want to clarify about these all topics that we have studied. So what you need to do, I will upload all this data in your Google Classroom. Okay. In your Google Classroom, I am going to upload this data, whatever we have studied. I think yesterday's topic was also uploaded. Yes, it is uploaded. On regular basis, I am giving you the text material as well. You need to write in your notebooks. Your notebooks must be completed regarding all aspects.